So you wrote an all about me about you and an all about who. Now it's an all about book about your animal. You will have today all until next Tuesday, because on Monday we don't have school, it's a holiday. But you will get 1 week to do your animal project, 1 week to write about them. And I called you artists for a reason. You get 1 week to make an art project about your animal. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But first, we'll be choosing our animals to do our project on. So remember how you did your flip grids? Those flip grids were helping you pick who your favorite animal was. Did anyone watch the video to see who won, which animals won? It was towards the end of the video. And thanks, Malvina. I'm happy you stuck it to the end. Thanks, Samar. Right, at the end of the video, I said which Arctic animal won, which jungle, savanna, desert, ocean animal won, and maybe some of them were yours. You don't have to pick an animal that was from your flip grid. I'm going to show you the animals that you can pick because they have to be in our packet, but also they have to be on Pebble Go so you can have an easier time picking them. Let's see who our choices are. I feel like I should have music playing, like a game show. Give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. I know it's still loading. Give me that thumbs up when you can see my screen. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Allison. So if you were to go into our classwork, you'll see our science project is right here at the top. And I have a bunch of things you can look at. Here's the options. And so that I mean which animals you can choose from, what art project you can choose from, my example of how to write about an animal, and then you'll click on this one to do your own story. But I also have, our flip grid, our Pebble Go, Epic. But let's first look at the animal choices. Okay. Now, here's what you're going to do. I am going to show you all of these animals. There's a lot, so you're going to really have to test your memory, okay? You get to pick one animal to do. And then I'm going to type it. I have a list here of all the animals you're choosing and which project you're going to choose, because there's 3 types to do with your story, okay? So there's a writing project and an art project. So first, we'll start with the Arctic animals. You can choose the polar bear, which was one of the first animals we actually learned about in our science project. Some of you definitely loved this. This was the most popular Arctic animal. You can choose the Arctic fox. I know it's hard to see them. They blend in with the snow. The Arctic fox is kind of like the smaller version of a polar bear. You can choose the seal. Now, more specifically, just a seal, not a harp seal, because Pebble Go talks more about seals of all kinds. You can choose the emperor penguin, which was one of the animals in our packet. Look how chubby they are. They're so cute. You can choose the walrus. At any time, if you can't see these, just unmute yourself and call out since I can't see you. But you can choose from the walrus with his huge tusks. You can choose the humpback whale, specifically the humpback whale. Oh, do I have a friend who has a question? Okay, I'll give you a chance. Make sure you are muted, though, if you don't have a question. Now we'll jump into the water with the humpback whale.
I can't also choose. What's the humpback whale?
What about the humpback whale?
I just picked that. That's it.
Oh, okay. You don't have to call. You don't have to tell me who you're picking right now. Just if you have a question, okay? So now, if Ruthron wants to pick the humpback whale, Ruthan, you have to remember that, okay? Because I have some more animals to show. But at the end, I'll call on each one of you to pick your animal, okay? So there's the dolphin. Look at its teeth, so fun. Look how slick it is. You can pick any type of shark as long as it's on Pebble Go. They have several types of sharks. You can pick the octopus. The octopus is a fun one. You can pick a manatee. A manatee is my favorite, but I didn't do my project on that. You'll see who I did my project on. You can pick any type of fish as long as it's on Pebble Go or Epic. Any type, so you could pick Nemo's type of clownfish, or you can pick what fish I did. I did my project on a fish. You can pick a sea turtle. Aren't these pictures gorgeous? You can pick the gorilla. Everyone pose like the gorilla. You can pick any snake, because we learned about the boa constrictor, we learned about the rattlesnake. I don't think there was another snake we learned about, but if there's another snake that interests you, you can pick that one. You can pick tree frogs, or if there's a different type of frog, but I know a lot of you liked the red-eyed tree frog. He's so cool looking. You can pick the jaguar. We're in the rainforest. You can pick the sloth, the slow sloth. If any of you have watched Zootopia, you know the sloths are very funny. You can pick an anteater. Real quick, doesn't it look like there's a panda bear right here? Nope, that's just an anteater. It's just an anteater's fur, but it looks like a panda. Weird. Now we're in the savannah. You could pick a giraffe. I know I already talked to one of you, and one of you said you wanted the giraffe. There's leopards, which are, you know, the big cat cousin to the jaguar and cheetah and so on. You can pick a rhino. A rhino is famous for those famous horns, those big horns on their head. You can pick a zebra with its black and white stripes. You can pick the lion, king of the savannah. You could pick the cheetah, the fastest and skinniest of the cats. You can pick an elephant. Elephants are very famous, especially if you've watched Dumbo. You can pick the koala. See what I mean? There's a lot of options. We're almost done. You can pick prairie dogs. Look how cute. They look like little groundhogs. Hi, prairie dog. You can pick a camel. Now, you realize I've been organizing them by habitat. So we went from the jungle to the savannah. Now we're in the desert. You can pick a jackrabbit. And I believe that's it. Yes, that's it. So my friends, I've shown you all of the animals you can choose from. I would like to call on you now and ask which animals you want to pick. And if you see here, I wrote a list. So there's Bella, and you can see I'm going to type what animal she picks. For example, if Bella said the dolphin, I'll have a list so I can help you with your projects. I have 19 kids. It can be hard to remember. So that's why I wrote it down. And then in another minute, I'll show you all the 3 types of projects you can do. And I would write Bella's. One of them's a poster. So let's say Bella picked poster. Now I have everything Bella's doing, and I can go to Bella and say, hey, Bella, do you need more help learning about the dolphin for your poster? See, so it's just me organizing. If I get to you and you're not ready, I'll just skip you real quick and we'll move on and we'll come back to you. So Bella, is there an animal that you would like to pick? The rest of you start thinking of that animal.
Jaguar.
Jaguar, okay. Oh, what happened there? All right, thank you, Ryan. This is like a whip chair. Ryan. Oh, don't fall on me.
Leopard.
Which one?
Leopard.
Look at us. We have our big cats joining us so far. Josiah, what animal would you like to do? Right now, my friends, we're just picking our animals. Then we'll pick our projects. And we'll talk about how to go about making them, okay?
Rhino.
A rhino, good choice. No one did a rhino last year. I think they're so cool. Julian, what animal would you like to do? I like when we have all different animals.
The penguin.
I'm sorry?
The penguin from the
Penguin. Yeah, back in the Arctic. I like how, to make sure I understood what he said, he not only said the animal, then he said the habitat too. Julian, that was cool. My friends, if you want to do a penguin or a rhino, it's not taken forever now. You can do an animal that another kid is doing. It's just nice when we have other options. Piper, over to you.
The Arctic fox.
All right, Arctic fox. I knew someone would pick that. How about Kenzie and Dario? You both can unmute yourselves because sometimes it takes a while for mics to turn on.
I had a list of them, so I picked the camel.
Ooh, so you were writing down all the animals you like? Nice. Dario?
Snake.
Ooh, which snake do you want to do?
Cobra.
Cobra. Yeah, wasn't that the one you talked about in your flip grid?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you said we hadn't talked about that in our graphic, so I'm happy you brought it up. How about Gabriella and Riley?
The dolphin.
Dolphin. All right. How about you, Riley?
Sloth.
Sloth. All right. Robert and Ruthron? R. It's like a pirate. R.
I like the king cobra.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, we have our cobra pair, Dario and Robert. Cobra. So you also want to do a snake. I wrote Santa. Snake. Ruthron?
A humpback whale.
I was wondering if you still wanted to do it. So you love the humpback whale. Nice. All right, Robert, you can mute yourself. Thanks, Ruthron. Okay, so Martha and Malvina, the best of friends.
I will do the lion.
Lion. Ooh, this is so fun. Which one, Malvina?
Dolphin.
Dolphin. We have our dolphin pair, Gabriella and Malvina. Allison and Natalie. Well, actually, let's do you two one at a time.
Lion.
Okay. Nat?
Manatee.
I had a feeling you were going to do a manatee or a sloth. All right, Adi and Steven?
A penguin.
Ooh, oh wait, that was Steven.
Rattlesnake.
Ooh, rattlesnake. So we have 3 snakes, nice. And we have 2 penguins, 2 dolphins, 2 lions. Man, I like how we have some that we'll hear a little bit more about, and then some we'll hear a bunch about all these animals. Fun. Yenna and Liam, thank you for being so patient.
Arctic fox.
Ooh, I like that. You and Piper. My friends, now that you even, oops, I spelled it wrong. Now that you even know that you have a friend who's doing the same animal, you can even ask them for help. You guys can work together to come up with good ideas. So Liam, let me see if it's changed since we last talked. Curious. Our new friend Liam.
Should I say it right now?
Yeah.
Giraffe.
I knew it, Liam. Didn't I say you picked giraffe? Because Liam had asked me when I said, we were doing an animal project, Liam had asked if we could do farm animals. Now, the reason we're not doing farm animals is because you kind of know more about them already. I wanted you all to pick animals that were in other parts of the world. So Liam was very nice to pick a giraffe. So look at this. Look at this awesome list. We have 19 animals that we're learning about. Sure, there's some pairs, but the nice thing about pairs is they can come up with different things, okay? So now that you've all picked your animal, you have one more thing to choose. There's a lot of choosing today. You're going to get to pick now what project you're doing, okay? I'll show you the options. Ta-da! Let's go in here. First grade animal project. So I will be kind of jumping in and out of this because I have the real thing right here. This is up there. So if your parents ask you, what did you do in school today? This is all there for them to look at, okay? So you don't have to look at this right now and remember it for the whole week. You can look at this every day, and we'll work on this project every day. So, it's a little, I hope you can see that. Let me see, can you read this from where you are? I know it was in white. Can you read that? Here it is again. No? Okay, let me make it a different color. I thought white would be better on this color. So the first project that you can choose, my friends, is called a diorama. Has anyone ever heard of a diorama before? Any of you? A diorama? And if you haven't, that's totally fine because that's a big word. A diorama is when you make something. Let me make it bigger now so you can see it. A diorama is when you make something kind of 3D. So in this case, I picked the pufferfish. The pufferfish is my favorite fish. And so I got a box. So out of a box or something similar, you create the habitat of your animal. So in the picture here, you can see I made the underwater. And I made little seaweed and kelp. And then I even got little waves going on with my party wrap here. And then I printed a picture, you can draw one too, of my pufferfish, and I have him floating so it looks like he's swimming. So a diorama is making something. You can make a diorama of our classroom, maybe out of clay. Or you could make a diorama of Laurel Acres, maybe out of paper. I got streamers and wrapping paper and these little green twist tie things. And I printed a picture and I made the ocean. And I wrote about, on top here, you can see in the picture and on top, I wrote what's called a blurb. I call it a blurb. Isn't that a weird word? It's like a Dr. Seuss word. It's just writing about your animal. So I answered all these questions. Who is your animal? A pufferfish. What is your animal's habitat? The ocean. What does your animal look like? Not only did I have the picture, I wrote that the pufferfish is small, but then it can blow up into a ball. So it looks like a ball and it has spikes on it. What does your animal eat? I wrote that my animal eats kelp and it eats tiny little, I guess like water insects you can call them. And it eats little tinier fish like that. What does your animal do to adapt? Hello, look at these awesome spikes. So a pufferfish is small, and then when it thinks it's scared and something's coming, it sucks up water and its spikes pop out, not, come off, but it pops up like a spiky basketball, and it can, poke into an animal that's trying to hurt it. And why did I pick my animal? Well, I picked my animal because in second grade, when I was in second grade, 100 years ago, I did this same project, and I picked a pufferfish. So I said, you know what? I have to pick a pufferfish again. So you can do this as choice 1, making a diorama. Now choice 2, this one's classic. Choice 2 is called an animal poster. Has anyone ever made a poster before? I think some of you have made posters with me. I mean, we would make posters for Wonder Days. Remember when we would do Wonder Day? Right, yeah, Gabriella's raising her hand. A Wonder Day is what you're doing now. It's just a Wonder Week, all about this one animal. So that's exciting there. Let's look at our poster. I have it right here. So this is why I had to go to the classroom. So you can see it got really beat up on the car ride home. My bad. So if you can't see it too well here, you can look in the poster picture. So a poster, you can decorate with markers, with crayons, colored pencils. I had, in my classroom already, I had this blue paper to make it look like the ocean. You can do anything you want. I'll try and see if I can post pictures of last year's class. For their posters, some of them did a giraffe, and they had a huge giraffe drawn on their poster, and then they wrote about it. You can see here, I made little bubbles with all my facts. Who is your animal? See, it's all the same questions. What is your animal's habitat? So I said, the pufferfish lives in the ocean. It uses its gills and scales to survive in its habitat. Then I answered, I said a cool fun fact. If you want, you don't have to do a fun fact. I just chose to. I said pufferfish are not all the same size or color. Some of them are white or brown, and some even have spots and stripes. I made sure to look into that, okay? I said what it eats, that some of them are poisonous. And I said it's famous for sucking up water to grow. And look, I have here when it's small. I have a picture of when it's spitting out water. And I have a picture of when it's all blown up. So my friends, you can choose a poster. Does anyone so far think they might do a poster? I know you can't see it so well, but some of you might do a poster. If you don't have a poster paper, let me know, because maybe your parents can go get one for you, but I have some in the classroom. I could try and get them to you. But there is one more, and this is my favorite project. This is the one I did in second grade. Ready? I know you're all so entertaining to me. Thank you for letting Miss Remitz talk about when she was in second grade a million years ago. Because remember, on the 100th day of school, I turned 100, so it's so long ago. Last, but certainly not least, your third choice that you can pick, the Guess Who box. So the Guess Who box, you use a cereal box or something similar. And you can see I have mine right here. It was a normal cereal box. I ate Kix. They're okay. And I wrapped it with paper. And then you don't have to print it. If you don't have a printer, that's okay. I printed mine to make it easier to read. So if you aren't going to be typing, make sure you write or practice small writing before you put it on here, okay? So I made my box look like the underwater. Here I have my seaweed. I drew some bubbles. And what you do with this is around your box, you give clues. So you give clues about your animal. And look here, look on the screen. Normally it says first, who is your animal? See that that's not there? Weird. Because I put a little thing you pull on inside. If you need help learning how to make that, let me know. It says, who am I? pull up. So I had a picture here, but I didn't say that it was a pufferfish on the box. And that's because it's called a Guess Who box. All my clues are about a pufferfish without saying who it is. Let me show you. My animal. See, I didn't say the pufferfish. I said my animal eats plants in the ocean, but sometimes clams and shellfish. My animal swims to move. If you want to tell us how your animal moves, maybe it flies, maybe it swims, maybe it waddles, you know. I said, my animal has spiky scales to stay safe in the ocean. If you're making this project, you're not saying who it is. Because whoever you give this box to, they would have to make a guess. Okay. Gets bigger when it's scared, lives in the ocean, has spikes. I'm guessing a pufferfish. And then if they make their guess, who am I? Ding, ding, ding. And you pull it up and the answer's there. But you don't have to put anything else in your box. See, it's empty. You don't have to put the actual pufferfish. You don't have to go to the ocean and catch a pufferfish and just smush it in there. No, please don't do that. And please don't put a toy in. You don't have to worry about that. If we were in the classroom, you could do that, but there's not really a point to it right now since we won't get to look. Those are your 3 options. That's the art project that you'll be doing. And I made a paper here. You don't have to read it right now. You can read it later. But it says, look in your packets. Go on YouTube. Go on Epic, on Pebble Go, or if you have a book about your animal, go read it and find ways to answer these questions. If you've answered all of them and you still have more time before it gets to, you still have more time before you have to share them, I'd love to see what silly problems you come up or silly facts you come up with. All right, so we will take a break in a minute or 2, but first you have to tell me which project you want. Okay, so here were your options. The diorama, where you make its habitat, and then just write on the top or on the side a little bit about it. Or you can do a poster, which has your facts all over it, and maybe you draw pictures or decorate it. And then the third one was the Guess Who box, where you don't tell us the answer until we pull it up. Okay? So I'll give you a moment to think about which project you want to do. Because remember, we're going to call on each other here, okay? If you can't decide right now, I'll let you decide by the end of the class, okay? I'll give you a chance. The poster, the Guess Who, and the diorama. The poster, the Guess Who, and the diorama. When you're ready, you can raise your hand. Okay, go ahead, Julian. Julian was born ready. He wasn't even waiting for me to say you can raise your hand. Which one?
The Guess Who box.
All right. Yeah, if you have a bunch of leftover cereal boxes, perfect. Guess Who? Okay, thank you, Julian. Robert?
Guess Who box.
Okay, thank you. Natalie?
Guess Who.
Okay, Allison?
Diorama.
Nice, diorama. Okay, let's see who else we have. Gabriella and Bella, the Ella fans. Ella. I tell you, this thing's gonna fall on me any second. I keep feeling it pushing on me. Gabriella and Bella, I saw you raised your hands. You girls ready? Are you frozen? Oh no. Here, Piper and Ruthron, how about you go while they're unfreezing?
The Guess Who box.
Okay, Ruthron.
The diorama.
Okay, fun, fun, fun. Let's see. Riley and Dario, and then Kenzie. Don't worry, my friends, I'm calling on all of you. You can just unmute yourself and tell me if I said your name.
Poster.
All right. You're good at posters, Dario.
You are good at posters. You can.
I said Guess Who.
You can tell me. I can hear you. Which one? Sorry, I talked over you. Poster. Okay.
Poster.
Thank you. Kenzie?
What could you use for the diorama? Like what type of boxes?
You can use a big box. I chose kind of like a medium box. This was just the box that I had. If you had a smaller box than this, you could use that as long as you can show the habitat. As you know, your habitat would probably be cooler than mine. Mine wasn't. I did my best to make the ocean without water, so if you have any boxes, you can choose that. Do you want to say diorama? And then if you don't have any boxes, you can pick something else. Ken's? Whoever, oh, Gabriella, you were playing with clay. You should use clay. I'll give you a second, Kenzie. Steven and Samarth. And then Malvina. Oh, Punk Farm,
Guess
get
Who.
out of here.
Guess Who.
Which one?
Guess Who.
Steven Kesu, thank you. Ooh.
I will. Poster.
Okay, Malvina.
Poster.
Nice, I like this. We have a good balance. So, oh, Bella, you're back. Go ahead, Bella. Think of anything yet, Liam?
Yeah.
Which one?
A Guess Who box.
All right, thank you. I forgot you didn't have the button, so I realized I had to call on you. So I need Bella, Ryan, Josiah, Kenzie, Gabriella.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, booger, booger, booger.
Thank you, Ryan. Go ahead. I know some of you are getting bumped out.
Diorama.
Okay. Adi, I still need you too.
Guess Who box.
Okay, guess who? So, my friends, we are going to, I have a couple more kiddos to hear from, but I think people are getting frozen or they're getting bumped and kicked out. So we'll take our break now while I'm still talking to them. So you can go get a drink, you can use the bathroom, unless you haven't told me yet what you're doing. I need to hear from you, and then we'll move on to our next lesson, okay? So I need to hear from Bella, Josiah, Kenzie, Gabriella, and Yenna. If you guys can unmute yourselves and tell me which one. If you haven't decided yet, tell me that too, and I can help you. But the rest of you can go get a drink or stretch. Yes, Yenna? Yes, Yenna?
No.
Thanks, Kenzie. Which one, Yenna? Bella, how about you? It's okay, Bella. Yeah, Yana.
Poster.
All right. Poster from Yana.
Well,
Gabriella. Which one? Yana, you can change your mind if you want.
but when I have like a cereal box left or like a diorama like the white box, then I want to do a poster, but I have to check.
Okay, so I'll say poster, nice diorama or whatever. Thanks, Yana. Gabriella.
I want to do the poster.
All right. Bella.
A diorama.
Diorama. And I think Josiah got one. All five. I think there's just too many people unmuted. That's okay. Okay, yes, Kenzie. Let's see if you can, if your unmuter works. Oh, it does.
My internet just went out. And my screen.
Oh
was
no!
all
Well,
black.
clearly, I think it's working now.
My screen turned all black and I couldn't see anyone's faces or my camera.
Oh my gosh, that must have been kind of scary. But you're back now, so that's good. I will try and get my other friends to jump back in too. So I'll give you guys another minute to come on back. But is anyone excited for the project? Yeah? Oh, I'm happy you're excited. You have a whole week, and so I'll show you what to do with your project, but I'll tell you what your homework is, basically. Josiah, can you tell me which project you want to pick? You're my last kiddo. Oh, this one's not a capital P. How could I? There you go. Do you want to do the diorama, the poster, or the Guess Who box, Josiah?
The Guess Who box.
Thank you. Guess Who box. Look, my friends, we are all filled out. Perfect. So, I'll do a call in case anyone is still not near their computer. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Do you think they heard me? All right, good. It seems everyone's back at their computer. I just had to do my bird call and they all came back. All right, so before I start my story, let me just tell you, today, if you go into classwork, you'll see Animal Project. The choices of the animals were there and the art project. So if your parents go, what do you mean, I Guess Who box? They can just click on here and they'll be able to see the whole art project thing that I just showed you. So they'll know exactly what to do. You are all going to do your writing here. You'll click on it and I'll show you what the blank one looks like and then I'll read mine to you, okay? And we'll end the day with Punk Farm and a scavenger hunt. Oh, make sure you're muted, my friends. So you have to do your art project, but you can also write what you learn in here. You're all about who? All about your animal. So you can change the picture because obviously you aren't doing a project on the jungle. So make sure you change that to be your animal. And you can see here we have the blank pieces of paper for you to type on. Next week, I'll be sharing these while you, on your camera, share what you made. If for some reason you don't get to share yours, don't worry because maybe something happens. We have a flip grid here that you can click on, and all of you will do this, even if you do get to share. This week, you'll be doing a flip grid called Animal Project. It's going to be on the top, and you'll film explaining your project. But this is what it'll look like when you're writing. All about the pufferfish. So I answered all my questions in here. All about the pufferfish. My animal is the pufferfish. The pufferfish is really cool because it has spikes on it. The pufferfish's habitat is in the ocean. It lives there and eats krill. The pufferfish adapts. Ooh, ding, ding, ding. Adapts. I love that word. That means how it protects itself, how it lives. It adapts to the ocean by having fins, gills, and its spikes. The spikes keep it safe. I picked the pufferfish because it looks cool when it is blown up and cute when it is deflated. And that's all I wrote. See, you're not writing too much, but you'll be answering all my questions here and then making them with your project. So Mrs. Dania, our art teacher, would love to see that we're doing an art project too. So they will be able to find it here. And when you're done everything, you're done your story, you're done your project, you're done your flip grid, you can turn in this whole thing. But there's links here for you to research. So today, I want you to go on PebbleGo, go on Epic, go on YouTube, and learn about your animal. And tomorrow we'll talk more about that, okay? Does anyone have any questions about the project before I get started with Punk Farm? And before we start screaming in our houses? Yes, Yenna. Punk Farm.
I actually have a big box, so I think I can do the
Diorama? Okay, I will switch it to diorama. If you have questions, every day we're going to be working on this. You'll be researching, you'll be writing. So you can do this in class and out of class, okay, my friends? This is your homework, and then we have some math homework. So this is kind of your project, so you get to focus on this. Okay, everyone warm up your vocal cords. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Liam, do you think I'm a weird teacher? Because I'm saying me, 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 me. I hope Liam doesn't go, Mom, can we go back to Indiana? Miss Remitz is cuckoo. All right, so I'm going to read you Punk Farm. And because we've been learning about animals, I want you to know that animals aren't just important in science. They're also important in our culture, which means our daily lives. And one way that they're important is in books. Last week, we read this book that Robert gave me, The Invisible String. But the main characters were children. And the writer chose them to be kids like you so that you could better understand the character and how they were feeling. Well, animals are used as the stories to help teach you things that maybe are too difficult to learn with a kid as the main character, but they're also characters in the story because it's silly and funny. If we had Punk Farm, or if we read a story about these two kids being in a rock band, it might not be as funny. So it's fun and silly and cuckoo to see these animals playing instruments, wearing sunglasses, and singing, right? So I like Punk Farm because it's using animals in its story. We'll read Punk Farm, and then I'll tell you one teeny tiny little homework question I have for you. Interesting. Okay. Punk Farm. Feel free to read or sing along. Let's see if maybe I'll make this bigger. Here, I'm going to use this tissue box. Ta-da! There we go. So here's the main characters in the band. Just a normal day on the farm. Farmer Joe works hard all day long. At the end of the day, Farmer Joe is tired and heads home for bed. Look, they're all watching him. Farmer Joe's animals are sleepy too, but are they getting ready for bed? I don't think so, just because they're looking and watching him leave. Not tonight. They have a show to get ready for. Cow sets up her drums. Pig plugs in his amp. Chicken sets up her keyboard. Goat tunes his bass. Sheep checks the microphone. Ding, ding, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, gang, tonight's the big night. Let's go over some songs before this place gets packed. In the middle of practice, Cow stops drumming. Oh, guys, she says, the farmer's light is on. The animals freeze. The microphone screeches. Footsteps can be heard in the distance. Will they get caught? You can see their faces just by looking at the picture that they're surprised and scared. Whew, look, the light went out. Not tonight. The light goes off and Punk Farm finishes their rehearsal. So a rehearsal is when you practice something. Outside, animals wait in line and buy tickets. Everyone is eager for the show to start. So I like that we're reading this because we didn't do farm animals as an option. So it's nice to see these farm animals in a story. Look, the horse is selling tickets. Are you guys ready? Asks Sheep. I was born ready, says Pig. Whatever, dude, says Goat. Oh, I'm nervous, says Chicken. Let's do this, says Cow. Sheep asks the crowd, who's ready to rock? And they go, crazy! So all of you, let's go crazy. Woo! Punk Farm! Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a cow. E-I-E-I-O. With a boom crash here and a boom boom there. Here a boom, there a crash, everywhere a crash, crash. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a pig. E-I-E-I-O. Ready? With a row here and a row there. Here a row, there a row, everywhere a row. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a chicken. E-I-E-I-O. With a beep beep here and a beep there. Here a beep, there a beep, everywhere a beep beep. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a goat. E-I-E-I-O. With a broom broom here and a ba-dum there. Here a broom, there a broom, everywhere a ba-dum. Old Punk Farm wails on their instruments one last time and delivers a blazing finale. E-I-E-I-O! Ow, ow! Thank you, Wisconsin! Whew. Okay, everyone, take a break. Get a water break. Soon the sun rises, and so does Farmer Joe. He heads over to the barn for ... A big day of work. But he looks so confused, and if you zoom in here, you'll see all the animals are still sleeping, even though it's daytime. And I can see here some sunglasses that didn't get put away. That's always my favorite one because you can see Farmer Joe's looking at the sunglasses going, "Ah." So here's the end. There's the Punk Farm animals and what they do in the band. They wrote a little thank you note. We know the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And so it's really nice to see Punk Farm take that song and make it into a story, and a silly one at that. This is why animals are important in our culture, because they are able to make us laugh by doing silly things like this. I think if maybe the kids in Invisible String had a punk rock band, it might not be as funny. And that's because these animals are different than us. So it's fun to see them act like humans, right? Well, raise your hand if you remember when we voted, and Liam, obviously it's okay if you don't remember this, but raise your hand if you remember when we voted for the best book of the year. Some of you remember that? We went through like 60 books, and we eventually got down to one, and that was Punk Farm. And also the Book of No Pictures. Those were the most important. I do have the Book of No Pictures here. So I will read that to you before the end of the school year. Don't worry. We'll go through our favorite books of the year down memory lane. But this is one example. Yes, Liam. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Liam. I just saw your mouth moving.
Remember when I said I don't know that book?
Yeah.
Well, now I remember reading that book.
Which book?
The book that you're holding right now.
You have read this?
Yeah.
Yay, Liam, I knew you were a true Team 4B member. Awesome. Well, Liam, I hope you liked this book. Does anyone else know a book that has animals as the main character? Samarth, sure.
Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, that one was fun because we wouldn't have a human going around eating everything, right? So that's why they had the caterpillar doing it. Let me hear two more stories. Ryan and Kenzie.
Pete the Cat.
Yeah, Pete the Cat does a lot of stuff, though, that humans do, which is interesting. I wonder if they had Pete the Cat as the main character because it's more interesting to read that story than it would be to just have a normal kid, right? Yes, Kenzie, you? And don't worry, my friends, you'll all get a chance to share, just not in here. What do I mean by that?
Curious George.
Kenzie, ding, ding, ding. Curious George was the other one that I was thinking about. Curious George is the monkey that is curious. So he makes a lot of silly mistakes, and he might make some accidents like knocking over paint, or, he might get lost. So it's fun to have the main character be an animal that does silly things like that. You're all going to help me make a list. We're going to go on our class page today, and now I got to present it again. How funny. I'm showing you my screen. This will be the last thing, and then we're going to go ahead and do our scavenger hunt. If you go on today's page, whoa, there we go. If you go on today's page to our post, it says here, comment, which means write, here, an example of a story or book that you've read that uses animals as its main characters. So I would click here and I would type, I would type Punk Farm. And then I'd press enter. And you can see now, kind of like if I had raised my hand, my answer's there. So I would hope to have 20 answers because there's 19 of you, plus 1 of me makes 20. Ryan and Kenzie, they're going to go on here and type the ones they said. Now, this is a challenge. Try and see if you can get something on there that no one said yet. So Ryan would write Pete the Cat. And we have Curious George from Kenzie. So now the rest of you have to type something that they didn't say. No Punk Farm, no Curious George, no Pete the Cat. I want to see if we can get 20 animal books that show us how important animals are, okay?